Hello, we're live here, and I think the sound is probably working. I see we got a full house kind of almost already, which is cool. And we got a few things going on today. Hopefully, the sound's good. I'm just going to chat. Let me know, though, in the chat if you could hear me well or not well. Looks like I'm using the microphone. So that's good. That's always better than not. And let's see who's here. Dana is on. Dana, I saw the email you sent me, so I will get back to you here pretty soon. We have J Vlog. What's going on? We have our fine moderators, Adrian. We have Duke, and potentially some other folks like Marty as well. All right. So today's the Q&A, as you know, probably from the title. So you can ask questions. I have some stories, which, shoot, I left my piece of paper over on the other side of the table here. So I'm going to have to get that in a second. We have Duke on as well. What's going on? And let's see. We have TBE. Georgie is saying hello. We got my man Justin there. Welcome. I haven't talked to you in a while. Hope things are well. We got Linus on. That's Echo over there. I have a note, Linus, that I'm going to send you an email so we can hook up an interview. We have Tammy. We have Traffic, Emil, Najit, and let's see. Yeah, another day in paradise. That's what Duke says. So true. All right. What kind of notes did I put in here? We got a couple things I want to announce. So number one is Amalinks Pro. So if you are not on my if you're not on my email list, you should go over to nichesiteproject.com, click the green button, enter your name and email, and then you'll be on the email list. All right. So do that if you're not on the email list. I send you a bunch of good stuff. I send you templates. I send you some helpful, links and stuff like that. And it's a good way to just get some stuff. Further, I send emails out. So you'll hear about things like the 50% off deal, which is going on right now through the end of day Saturday, April 6th. There's a bonus. There's a bonus that I'm offering that you can't get anywhere else, which is, let me read the text exactly. If you buy using my link, again, I'm an affiliate, so I get a commission, and I appreciate if you use it. I'll audit one page on your site, roughly a 5-minute video. You'll need to send me your receipt and or the order confirmation so I can confirm. And then you send me the URL. And then that offer is good through April 6th as well. And I'll, send you a private video. It's a little audit. And probably really helpful. A lot of times I'll uncover something that maybe you don't know about. Now, quick caveat. Actually, a few caveats on Amalinks Pro. So number one, I know the founders, the creators of the plugin. They've been working on it for maybe close to a year. I can't quite remember. Pretty long time. So they've gone through some beta testing. It's very usable. The caveat is you need to have access to the Amazon advertising API. So if you're just starting your site, you probably don't want to get this plugin. And it's very important for me to tell you who this plugin is not for. I want to be straightforward with you and tell you that if you don't have access, then you should probably wait and not use the plugin. The other caveat is I don't personally like to use additional plugins if functionality is available without using a plugin. That said, I've tested the tool. It's very straightforward. It's very easy to add text links, buttons, feature boxes, and the big thing is the table builder. Again, I typically will use a solution that is simpler, and I will not use a plugin if possible. However, on at least 1 to 2 of my sites, I will be I'm switching over to Amalinks Pro so I can, take advantage of some of the functionality. So that is announcement number one. I'll mention it a couple of times. Don't forget the bonus. That is the big deal, right? So you're getting a good deal on the product, but at the same time, the bonus is I'll audit one of your pages. All right, couple quick things before we get started with the questions. FAQs, there's a link in the description. So I know some people watching their phone. Maybe you're even driving. All right, maybe you're driving and you're somehow streaming this. So you can't click on the FAQs, but there's FAQs there and they're frequently asked questions. So maybe if you're asking a question, it's already been answered there in a longer form. So I encourage you to check it out. The Doug Show podcast, go check that out as well. If I remember right, the episode that I published today is an interview with WP Eagle, the man himself, Alex Cooper over there. And then I answer questions for about half an hour, tell a few stories. All right, let's see what's happening in the chat here. Again, all the people in blue, those are our moderators, and they are very helpful, and I appreciate their help. Additionally, actually, I'm going to open this up to the chat, get some stuff going on. I know that Marty and Adrian specifically had very good months in March. They had a good month in March. So I'm just going to ask people in the chat, let us know, how are your earnings going in March? Are you just starting your site? Have you gotten any traffic? If you've reached a record month, tell us about that too. And feel free to chatter amongst yourselves, which it looks like you're already doing. So we have Antonio on as well. Give me a shout if it's your first time on here. And I see they're already talking about some of the goals achieved. So Adrian mentions that Marty hit 2K, or at least very close to it. And Adrian, you did well too. Okay, so JD says, where can I find writers for about $20 an article? I would suggest Upwork. Upwork is primarily where I go and try and get some of my writers. So I would check that out. And JD, if you haven't gotten my templates, I share all my templates for hiring on Upwork. I think there's even a style guide. There's some other details for working on Upwork. So sign up for my email list. You'll get access to those templates. I think it's called like content templates. There's even a template on how to let go of a writer or a freelancer that you don't want to work with anymore. That's hard for some people to fire someone. Additionally, JD, there are probably at least 3 videos, maybe many more, where I go through a lot of content and hiring details for about $20 an article, assuming 1,000 words. All right. And Antonio says you're driving, so you can't write at all, but you're listening to everything. That's great. Antonio, keep your hands on the wheel, buddy. Do not try and type. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on, but that's cool. That's cool. And Ubid is saying, JD, contact with me. And you know what? I don't really like people pushing stuff on here. So, try not to do that. I think you're just giving a side comment there, but let's not do that. Richard says, do I use the KGR in my blog? So the tough thing, I've tried to do some, but Richard, I haven't. Like, internet marketing is a very competitive space because everyone's a marketer. And the segment of the population that searches for content related to basically the search volumes are not very high. So it's pretty hard to find them. However, what happened, Richard, is after doing, roughly 100 live streams like this, I got a pretty good feel about the questions that people ask. So I created the FAQ section at the suggestion. Well, I was already going to do it anyway, but basically a bunch of people, like the moderators, they were like, dude, why don't you create an FAQ section on your site so that you could just send people there? Well, it turns out it's hard to get people off of YouTube. You get this sexy bald head, little shiny plants behind me. Why would they leave? Who wants to read when you can listen to me talk? And some people are driving, like who was driving? Antonio. Yeah. So anyway, the point is, what are we talking about here? The KGR in my blog. So I created the FAQ section, and what happened was a lot of people actually ask those questions and end up on those pages. And they're not KGR specifically; they're just extremely long tails that basically very few people search for. And if you looked in a search keyword research tool, then you would probably find that no one's searching for them. But it turns out some people are asking those questions like, how do you get a guest post for an affiliate marketing blog or something like that? And you potentially would end up somewhere on my site because there's a lot of content like that. So super long tails is how that works. Okay, moving on. So Richard, I would like to use it more. I thought it'd be a great case study, but it was a little difficult. And there are probably some out there, but I'm splitting my time in many ways. So part of it's YouTube, part of it's podcast. By the way, check out the Doug Show. If you haven't listened to that podcast, it's a great thing to listen to in the car, because then you don't feel the pressure to chat back or even to watch the video. Moving on, Tammy says, I'm still up to $40 or $50 a month, but it's increasing a little each month. Excellent, Tammy. And I remember, you were on these live streams like a year ago and, slowly using the KGR. So that's pretty cool. Gender says, you started my Amazon site. It has 5 articles that are 3,500 words a piece. That's great. So Imran is on as well. What's going on? And Marty is mentioning it's great to have the momentum that Tammy has, consistently, bringing in 40 to 50 each month, which is great. And slowly it'll grow most likely. If you keep putting the work in, you see what's working. So just do more of that. Tall says, you're wondering if it's possible to rank for a high competition niche with KGR keywords. The answer is yes. And I'm going to grab I was making notes earlier, so I'm going to grab that. Right here. Got it. And I'll answer a couple more questions here before I start rambling on about nothing. So it looks like we got 36 people on. That's pretty cool. We're starting to, get a few more as we are doing this more regularly. At one point, I think at the end of last year, the end of 2018, I think we were getting about 50 people most of the time. Occasionally, it would be up to 70, something like that. And on the rare occasion, I'm not sure what happened when this was going on, but we'd have like 100. Like once or twice, I think we had close to 90. I don't remember why. I should look into that. But okay. Subham says, how to do affiliate marketing on YouTube. Which type of videos should we make? So I don't do a ton of affiliate marketing on YouTube, but how-to videos are very good. If you want to see a few people who are really good at it, go check out WP Eagle, for example. Alex does long form tutorials, which are fantastic. And they're like an hour plus long sometimes and very detailed. He shows you exactly what to do. So how-to videos work great because he's showing you exactly what to do. And a lot of times you need some kind of tool to do those things. Not always. A lot of the videos that Alex will go through a tutorial, it's free. It's like a free tool that you can use, but it's still providing value. And providing value is very, very important to build trust. So someone would take a look at the products that you're potentially mentioning. And basically, it's everything. However long you think it's going to take, Subham, it's going to take like 10 times longer. So I just mentioned a couple of affiliate products or products which I'm an affiliate for. And through creating all these videos, some people trust what I say. So they would potentially have a look at Amalinks Pro, for example, which is 50% off, by the way. And there's a big bonus. Have a look in the description. That's only active. This 50% off, and the bonus is only active through end of day Saturday. All right. Next, Dana mentions your traffic is between 30 and 40 visitors a day, but there's no sales, but you just started using the KGR in your 3-year-old blog. Very cool. I think it's a, I'm so excited. I can't even get it out. Basically, Dana, you're probably in very good shape because once you start writing content that you can get more traffic to, knowing the intention of the visitor, hopefully to buy something, you'll be able to get those conversions, right? And if you're getting 30 to 40 visitors a day, that means that Google likes you a little bit, or you're getting traffic from somewhere. So you should be able to, connect the dots there. And other thumbs up and well wishes for Tammy with keeping up the good work. So as I mentioned, anyone who wants to mention their earnings and sort of where you're at, you could, let us know in the chat. It's inspiring for folks to hear that. Samu says, overthinking stopped me every time. Is it work or not, or waste my money, or can rank those keywords or not? Is it good to hire Philippines writer? I have limited savings, $1K to buy content. Okay. Well, it's good to think about things, but overthinking can keep you from taking action, and taking action is maybe the most important thing here. So take action and adjust things as you go. Very important to do. You don't want to keep consuming information, keep reading more blogs, keep listening to more podcasts, watching more videos, when potentially you know what you need to know already. So at that point, do something, and then you can adjust along the way. Now, your question is, can you rank those keywords or not? Potentially, right? But you have to try. So I would suggest starting with the keyword golden ratio to get some momentum quickly, like Tammy, for example, Adrian, Marty, many other folks as well, Duke. And once you get started, you'll see, what's working and what's not working. And hopefully you'll get some motivation to move forward and do more. All right. And then as far as hiring writers, their location, I don't think it matters. Where they're from, it doesn't matter. What matters is the output that you get. So, you could hire someone from anywhere and they maybe can write perfect English. But you have to test it. And I think limited savings. So you say you have limited savings of $1,000 to buy content. I would say $1,000 is a pretty good amount of money to buy content. So I think you have quite a bit. I would suggest that you start with native English speakers to make things easier on yourself. You potentially could hire native English speakers from the Philippines or India or Kenya or Jamaica or wherever. But I find that you probably will get more natural English, American English, depending on your target audience, if you hire people from that country. So keep that in mind. So you have to test, and I think some Filipino writers can do a fantastic job and others will do a terrible job. There are, master's degree holders in the US who will write a terrible article for you for very expensive, or you can have a high school dropout that will crush it for you and they'll do a great job. All right. So there's a huge range and there's exceptions all over the place. So get started and do something. All right. And Tammy says you've been working at it for a year, but it keeps rising a little bit each month. That's perfect. You have momentum. Okay. As we're moving on here. Oh, we got Derek on as well. And I'm slowly moving through the chat. It's jumping around like crazy here. All right. Where are we at here? Okay. Manis Saha says, I want 200 posts with KGR, 50% informational and 50% money keywords. You have 40 posts this month. You have a question. What's the time frame strategy of posting an article? Any suggestion? Yeah, I would suggest you post them and publish them as quickly as possible. No reason to wait. Um, and there's a lot of people who are trying to do this 200 post thing with KGR. It's just, I guess I'm to blame, right? I'm the one that said that I did it. But I would say if you're just trying to, emulate and do exactly what I did, chances are, you're not exactly going to do it. But taking action is fantastic, and I highly recommend that. But if, just in general, it's hard to, copy someone exactly. All right. Good starting point. Good starting point. So Manus, publish as quickly as you can. Ubid says, how did we publish content on page or keep posts? What's the difference between them, and which is good, a page or a post? Well, it depends on what you're trying to do. I usually use posts. All right. I usually use posts. Oh, and Dana mentions Georgie. She's just chilling out. I think I'm going to take her for a jog around lunchtime. Wesley, I am in the new place. This is it. You see the plant next to me right there. And I haven't done any vlogs or videos, but there's actually a nice area by the pool. The lighting looks good. It's like a nice like set. It's almost like a set. I'm not sure how loud it will be out there, just because there's like a little bit of road noise and stuff like that. But I'm looking forward to shooting some videos out there. And then just in general, there's like, I don't know, there must be 100+ acres like next to me on this side that I could see out the window. A lot of times hawks will be flying over here. To the other side, it's like, anywhere USA, suburbia, you got your Bed Bath and Beyond, you have a Lowe's, you got like 10 restaurants over there, a coffee shop. There's Staples, there's a Dick's Sporting Goods, there's some other things over there. And it's nice. It's pretty nice. And next we have, and thanks for asking, Wesley, do appreciate it. Let's see. Okay. Hi says, oh, it's been a while. It's been a while here. So Hi says, good morning. My impressions have been increasing, but at the same time, the average rank position has been dropping, but it's counterintuitive. Yeah. That makes a little sense, though. I mean, you want the rank higher. I'd rather have less impressions and a higher ranking. So just in general. And Tammy says this, you started a year ago and you didn't see an increase in money until you started using the keyword golden ratio. It works, folks. I was staying under $5 for months, and you added the keyword golden ratio, and it went from 0 to 15 and then up and up and up to about 40 to $50 a month. Very, very cool. TBE Writing says, I'm biased, but native writers are always the way to go. The only reason non-native writers exist is because there are many clients who can't spot or read, like me, bad English because they can barely speak it. That is true. That is 100% true. And Richard says, oh, Richard, I didn't realize this. So you're saying the KGR works, you're at $600 a month consistently due to the keyword golden ratio. And that's fantastic. It's really cool. I was actually nervous back in, I guess it was the late 2015, early 2016 timeframe when I was like testing, developing the keyword golden ratio. And I was like, this is like the best thing within the course. Should I just keep it within the course or what? And like, it's probably like some survivorship bias, but most of the time you probably hear people like, when I gave away my most, precious, my best material, good things happened. And I think that's true. Otherwise, less people would know about it. I'm actually impacting and helping a lot more people by just giving it away. Now, there's a lot of other stuff in the course, 5-figure niche site. It's a framework. You'll notice on my YouTube channel that there are a lot of videos. Like, I don't know how many there are now. Hundreds, right? There's hundreds of videos there. But it's too much. You can't really follow what's going on if you're just getting started, or you may just be doing all sorts of stuff that you don't need to do that doesn't really help you. And the course provides that framework to let you know what to work on and what not to work on. Tall says, we need to use the exact KGR, the keyword golden ratio phrase that we found as the title, or can you rephrase it? I would suggest that you can rephrase it some, but I suggest you keep the words together as much as you can. If you need to correct the grammar, you can do that. The important thing is to have the all in title in there. All right. And Khalid says you have a couple questions. Hey, Khalid, I thought you were like a pro affiliate marketer. It's kind of a beginner question. Not sure if you're the Khalid Khan that I was thinking is a common name, but Khalid asked this very good question. Can I download product images from Amazon and host it on my own server? The answer is yes, you can, but it is against the rules. You can do that, but that is like one of the number one ways you can get kicked out of the Amazon Associate Program. And if you can use the site Stripe, number one, you can use the Amazon Advertising API, or you can use a tool that uses the Amazon Advertising API. One of those tools is Amalinks Pro, which there's a link in the description. And the second question, is it allow to use word Amazon in a clickable link? The answer is yes, you can use the word Amazon. However, there are rules about how you can use the Amazon brand, and there are rules about phrasing. So, for example, if you use a button, you have to use a specific actually, I'm not even going to mention anything. There's a page about how to use the Amazon brand as an associate, and they give you examples of things you can do and cannot do. But you can use the word Amazon in a link. That is true. If it is on an image or a button, there may be additional rules about it. So, next, Amin, what's going on? Always a big supporter here on the channel. For an info post, do you recommend a link to an affiliate link if it makes sense, or would it be better to link to a post that has mostly affiliate content? Either one is fine. Here's the thing to think about. I mean, if you know what the visitor is there for, like they're asking about a how-to situation, if you can help the visitor do something cheaper or faster or easier by using a product, I would definitely recommend it. So kind of like when Khalid just asked that question about images, I told him the answer, but then I also said, hey, if you want an easier way to do it, you can use this plugin, which I'm an affiliate for. And there's a bonus. Read the description. So yeah, but I mean, you could do either, and I would suggest do both. No reason not to do both. And as we're moving through here, Equine says, how long has Amalinks Pro been in business? I'm not 100% sure when they first started. I believe it's right about a year or a little bit less than a year. Matt Allen of Dumb Passive Income is one of the founders, and I actually know the other founder as well. Alchemy Coder, so he's a WordPress coder guy. I've known Matt for how many years now? 6 years. So I met up with him like right after I started Niche Site Project. I haven't met him in person, but I've talked to him on the phone a few times. In fact, when they were developing this tool, they were like asking me questions and getting recommendations and stuff like that. And I think they were going to do a lot of this stuff anyway. I think a couple of my questions drove them to add some functionality. So that's cool. And then Alchemy Coder, actually, I've had a beer with him, a couple beers. So good guy. I know both of them. So I would consider them, good folks. And Matt's in it for the long haul. Like I said, He's from Dumb Passive Income. He's been blogging there for longer than I've been around. Oh, okay. And you say you're considering the platinum package with a discount, so you as not to get into the annual fee, but you've never heard of them before the email a couple days ago. Okay, yeah. So Equine, yeah, I trust them. You may notice I don't talk about many affiliate products, and I get approached pretty often. So usually, because I spend so much time and effort being trustworthy, I try to recommend stuff that's like good. So because I don't want to hear that people had issues with something I recommended. Okay, moving on. If you have any other questions, Equine, let me know. Shoot me an email. You could just reply back to the one that you received. Or I also encourage you to check out Dumb Passive Income too. So, all right. Nice. Oh, we have, let me just scroll through here. Let me scroll. Oh, we got Lance on. What's going on? We have Carl as well. Thanks, folks. A lot of students from Five Figure Niche Site coming in today. So that's very, very cool. I appreciate you coming on. And let me see if, okay, I'm going to scroll back up, get back to the questions somewhere. Where are these? All right. Smooth says, can worth low volume money keywords like best XYZ can back ROI with profits? I'm not following 100%, but I think the answer is yes. I'll just go with yes on that. Okay. Wahab says, I've just started an Amazon store. My question is that, can we use brand products to promote on our website? If I understand your question, you're asking if you can promote product branded or something like that. I think the answer is yes also. But the last two, I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure if I follow. All right, next, Richard Bagshaw. What's going on? Good to have you on. Welcome, any newcomers. And my man, Derek, good to see you around here too. What's going on with you, Derek? I'm not sure if you're still on the chat. We haven't caught up in a long time, but I met Derek when I first got started too. But yeah, Derek's doing cool stuff. All right. Yeah, let us know in the chat, Derek, if you're able. Okay. Intella says, is it okay to add affiliated products using WooCommerce and affiliate egg plugins for Amazon products and others since I do not have an API key yet? So I don't use either one of those. So I don't know, but I think the answer is no. And I have a feeling that some of the folks in the chat know. I think you need the advertising API key because it's pulling data. All right, I'm going to hop over. Oh, okay, and I'm going to hop over and just talk for a few minutes here. And then I'll come back to the questions. Let me just look in here. Oh, and Marcus was on. I don't know if I missed you earlier or not. So let's see. I wrote some notes here. Oh, I got a driver's license this morning. So we got to go down to the driver's license office, and you know how that is, right? Like you have to have, I think it was like 2 forms of ID proving your address. You need to have a piece of like official paper to prove your social. You have to have a picture ID and then like your old license. So my wife and I studied the material on the website to make sure we had everything. And then the last couple times that I've gotten a license, I bring everything that I have. So I had like a passport, birth certificate, my actual social, multiple bills with my address on it. And I think that's it. But I have like basically anything proving that I am who I am is like in an envelope. So we went down there and they open at 7. So my wife like came with me. We went down there, went by the Chick-fil-A, brought Georgie with us. It's actually only like half a mile away, so pretty close. And we were the first ones in. It went pretty well. And the maybe slightly amusing thing, this was the first time that they're getting the critical information. How tall are you? How much do you weigh? What's your eye color? What's the other one, everyone? Hair color. And she looked up and she was like, bald. Yeah, bald. That's right. So I think it's the first license. Actually, the last one, maybe it said bald, but maybe I had a little bit of hair. It's black. You can kind of see a little bit there. But bald is my hair color now. But everything went fine. We were out of there in no time. And next thing on the list, another fun thing when you move is like transferring your auto title and getting registration. I think we're going to have to get emissions done for our cars. And the worst thing about this is in Montana, I have roughly, let's see, it's a 2005. So it's a 14-year-old car. The last time that I got a license plate, I just got the permanent tag. I was like, we're setting down roots here in Montana. We're not going to move for a while. I'm going to be here until this truck dies. Then 2 years later, we end up moving. So I think I didn't quite pay for it. It was something like 2.5 times. Oh, maybe it was pretty close. Something like 2.5 times what it would normally cost for like an annual auto registration. But anyway, I don't know if they have that here. And I'm going to have to get a new license plate here in Colorado. Okay. Overall, it went pretty good there at the license place. And actually, it was kind of exciting. There were, I think, two young adults there getting their learner's permit. So they were, pretty excited. They were there with their parents. And so one kid, I couldn't tell if he was like 35 or 15, but he looked kind of young-ish, but then he like dressed older. He had like a leather jacket and like a chain with a cross on it and stuff. And his hair was slicked back. And I dress like a slob most of the time. I have like a gym shirt on or a t-shirt with stains on it. But he was dressed up a little, excited to get his permit. And it was kind of, it's like one of the places everyone has to go. So other people getting their license renewed and all that stuff. But it was very chill. It was very chill there. Okay, moving on. Richard says, you've tried hiring Filipino writers. They're good, but you need to tell them detailed instructions and so on. Yep. And Echo says you made 110 in March. And by the way, Echo, this is a guy who's going to be on the channel sometime soon. I'm going to interview him. I think he's graduating from high school. He's 18 now. All right. So he's just getting into it, and he made 110 in March. The site has been stuck at about 2,000 users for the past 2 months. And you're not sure why it's not growing. Cool. Okay, we can talk about that whenever we chat, Linus. Equine says, you sent me an email with screenshots because you're stoked. You started using the KJR last month, and it went from 62 organic in February to 138 in March and 150 already this month to date. It sounds like you're growing fast. You doubled your keywords that you rank for in 30 days and $100 last month with a combination of ads and product sales. That's fantastic. And Lance, good to see you on. Of course, it's been a while since we caught up. And Adrian says this: if Doug was kind enough to answer your question, hit the like button. That would be fantastic. And in fact, here's 2 things you can do. Actually, I'll give you 3 things. This is not what you're supposed to do for a call to action. I'm supposed to tell you 1 thing, but I'm going to tell you 3 things here. So number 1, if you watch my videos, just like whichever ones you watch, just like them. And then the other thing you could do even better is if you leave a comment on those. That's very good. If you leave a comment, even if you just say, hey, cool video, or if you say, hey, this video was kind of boring, I get those maybe like 10% of the time. Hey, Doug, this video is boring. Get to the point already, blah, 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 blah. But it's free. So what are you going to do? Right. The point is, leave a comment, even if it's a negative one. Positive feedback is good, but negative feedback is really helpful. And then the other thing you could do is tell somebody. So tell someone about the channel. Maybe you have a friend who's sort of interested in a side hustle. Send them over to the channel. That's a great thing to do. All right. And Maria says, how do you find KGR keywords about the cat niche? So that'll be the same as any niche. And that is, I'll give you a tip. Go to my channel. You'll find a keyword golden ratio masterclass. It's close to 2 hours long. Watch all of that. And then it should be pretty clear on how to find it. Okay. And Amin says, a weird question, if you don't mind. Why am I sharing with us all the info through the YouTube channel and podcast? I can use the time to create more sites and make a ton of money. So that's a very good question. Maybe I should do a whole video on that. So there are at least a couple reasons. So number one, when I first started, I was watching other people do what I'm doing, right? So I watched like Pat Flynn from Smart Passive Income, Spencer Hawes at Niche Pursuits. There were a couple other people, not necessarily directly related to affiliate marketing, but like Neil Patel, and he had Quick Sprout and the neilpatel.com, Brian Dean over at Backlinko, Ramit Sethi at I Will Teach You to Be Rich, and then Derek Halpern over at Social Triggers. So a lot of people were like sharing information. I learned from them, and I thought it was cool that they were sharing the information. They do have products as well, as I have products. And I was like, hey, I want to do that also. I would love to share the information. So part of it is like I'm emulating what I was learning. The other part is it's a different business model. And we talk about diversifying your revenue streams, right? So you hear that often, but it's actually hard to do because doing one thing, like I could create more and more sites and have all that running, but it gets, number one, it gets a little bit like monotonous to do the same thing over and over again, just in general. And then the other thing is it's based on traffic from Google and the Amazon affiliate program. And to actually diversify, I would have to get away from those two constraints. And to do that, part of my diversification is to have a platform, even though like on YouTube, I'm using the YouTube platform. But if it went away, I would still have the blog. And there are people on an email list, so I can send an email out and contact a lot of people. So that is truly diversifying my revenue streams. And I have a course, which I give away a ton for free. And part of the reason I give away a ton for free is so that hopefully you trust me, right? You see, I'm not a jerk or anything. Generally helpful. If you catch me on the right day with the right amount of caffeine, I talk quickly, but I'm not like tweaking out and, with low patience or anything like that. Catch me on the wrong day with too much caffeine. Well, who knows what'll happen. But anyway, and the other thing is to make a ton of money. That's not really my goal. I would like to have enough money and, be able to do the things that I want to do and it's more important to have the time freedom to me. So that's the most important piece of it, just in general. But it all fits together. So diversify, revenue stream, help people, right? I gave away the keyword golden ratio idea, super helpful for a lot of people, whether they get my course or not. And then if people want to, shortcut and get the framework of how this stuff works and get access to, work with me, they could buy the course. So it all fits together, and most of it is given away for free, but to get more access to me, to get the framework of 5-figure niche site, that is what you pay for. So that's why. Good question. Carl, what's happening? Another student. Sayin says, can I use content from my older site to a new site? Would Google have issues with that? Not specifically, but it's best to let Google know that you're moving to a new site and or like no index, or like say that old site is gone. So I'm not sure if I have the terminology exactly right, but the idea is to let Google know that the site is moved and the new content is located somewhere else. I think if the other site is still around, you could canonical the link, but just Google that stuff. You could find it pretty easy. All right. As I'm scrolling down, trying to find some stuff. Okay. JVlog, thanks for putting your stars by the question. You had a site a while back and it was swarmed with Google bots and spam bots and you were forced to upgrade, thus you dropped it. How do I deal with that NPC traffic? I don't know what that stands for, but you know what? I guess I don't pay too much attention. I don't notice it to be a major issue, although I did see, I don't know if it's negative SEO happening on Niche Site Project or if it's just spammy links that happened in some automated fashion, but I'm going to have to do something about that. So I'll probably do some tutorials potentially on disavowing links. All right. Let's see here. A lot of questions today. All right, Sayin, sorry, sometimes the chat just like jumps and I lose the spot. I'm not sure why. Okay, Sayin is basically saying, can you use singular or plural for your title? The answer is yes. You could switch it up. Dana says, if you're making Pinterest graphics, can you use Amazon images as part of it? I would say that's a very gray area and I wouldn't do it. No. Second question, what's my opinion on the look of native shopping ads from Amazon? Am I against using them? I think they look great. I generally don't use them though. There's two main reasons. One, I didn't have much success with them. That doesn't mean other people don't. So test it for yourself. And the other thing is when you put those in, let's say you put in a panel, put in a few products, there's a ton of affiliate links in that native ads section. Just scroll, like hover over them with your little finger cursor, and then you'll see like there's a ton of affiliate links. So I don't really like that. So I kind of I don't like them, so I don't use them. Oh, Tim says you started your first English website in January. You got 15 articles now and you had 250 visitors last month and it's growing exponentially. Fantastic. Keep up the good work and keep me posted. You're welcome. And I'm glad that you were taking action. Okay, Khalid says, thanks for the answer. You're using the site stripe, but dealing with white space in the images is in the images vary. It becomes hard to adjust the image on the page with custom CSS. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. Just use the site stripe image. A lot of people will argue with me on that. In fact, I've had debates with, well, actually, we're talking Amalinks Pro, right? You can use Amalinks Pro to insert bigger images and do some more customization and all that business. But you know what? It doesn't actually matter that much. You can use the site stripe images or no images at all, right? You can use images from Creative Commons. You don't have to use product images. There's no rule that says you have to use product images. Will people tell you to use product images? Yes, the people that have plugins that they want you to buy, but you don't have to use them. I'm telling you, I'm an affiliate for Amalinks Pro. You don't have to use it. I don't use it primarily. Is it easier to insert links using Amalinks Pro? Yeah, it's a lot easier. So anyway, next. And Duke's really smart. Duke knows a lot of stuff here. So Duke says, use WordFence security plugin to limit a lot of bots, or you can use Cloudflare to limit bots as well. Okay, Richard says, you want to know if people purchase big ticket items like refrigerators in the US or they prefer going to the retail store. I believe that I'm not 100% sure, but my gut says they want to go into a retail store. They want to see it, they want to open the door and figure out what's going on. And a lot of times, not always, but most of the time, if you go to, a store that has appliances or whatever, they have some kind of free delivery. So it's not a deterrent. Okay. Okay. A lot of questions. Great questions here. I'm gonna try and drink some water here. Got a core. I've been trying to up my water intake. I usually drink a lot of water, but I was doing some reading about just drinking. I think the article I saw, yeah, it was an article. It was like drinking 2 gallons of water a day, which is a lot. A lot of people don't drink near that much. And I think like the rule of thumb is like drinking a lot of water is like over a gallon. And I mean, I'm fairly active. Most of the time I do go to the gym just to even do some light workout or something like that. I'm not that serious about it, but I like to get out of the house. I walk Georgie all the time. So, I mean, on an average day, I'm usually drinking over a gallon anyway, but I've been trying to like up it to maybe like a gallon and a half or so. And that's great, from a hydration standpoint. It's bad from a emergency peeing standpoint. So I'm like, every time I take Georgie for a walk, we like go to the Lowe's because you could bring dogs in there, and I'm like sprinting to the bathroom to go pee. It's just, it's good to stay hydrated, but it's tough to, do anything away from a bathroom. So just wanted to share that because I'm sure everybody cares. Okay, Sheik says, I have a question about Google AdSense, which I know nothing about. So I won't even read the question, but I will defer you. I encourage you to go check out the Fat Stacks blog. My friend John Dykstra over there knows a lot about ads. So check that out. And for Rose, what's going on? Richard is saying some stuff about buying things. Just scrolling. All right. I think we're making headway a little bit here. TBE says YouTube is stealing likes. You've liked the video 3 times and the blue thumbs up keeps turning back to gray. Huh. I don't know. News 24/7 Bangladesh says, can I get profitable niche without paid tools? The answer is yes. Maria says, my cat likes you. And you know what? Cats are like children. They could like sense the people that don't really appreciate them. I'll put it that way because Maria, obviously you have a cat, so I don't want to offend you. I'm more of a dog person is what I'm trying to say. And cats, I'll pet them, they act like they want to, interact with you. Maybe they show their belly, they're like, hey, rub my belly. Next thing you know, bite you. They bite me, they trick you. And it's always surprising. So I try and stay away from them. Like I said, like children. I'm not a huge fan of children, just don't interact with them much. So there's that. Okay. Anna says, it's Alex from Brazil. What's going on? It must be on your different login there. Alex, what's going on? I didn't recognize your name. Alex says, I have an email from you to give you feedback about my amazing consulting. Sorry for the delay. You'll do it soon. You're welcome. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know. All right. Justin says, do I have a backup plan if Amazon lowered drastically or got rid of their affiliate program? Not a specific backup plan, but my general hunch is that they won't end it completely, but if you do have traffic, you can usually monetize it somehow. But if they lowered it drastically, I would probably, it's still profitable, right? So I would most likely look to potentially add more ads, add more ads, potentially to get more revenue. And I'm not 100% sure, but I would maybe look at like advertising, like banner advertising with companies. Again, if you have traffic, you often can monetize it. And at this point, I'm comfortable, I can reach out to someone and say, hey, I'm ranking for this term. I get this much traffic, and like I've gotten this much traffic for a consistent basis. If you want to run ads, here's the deal. And potentially I would send that out to a few different folks so that there was a bit of a bidding situation, because it's hard for me to know the value that they would get from it or the budget that they have. But if I get them bidding, then that would help the situation there. I would also let them know that I'm contacting exactly who the other people are, so that they know that it's a competitive situation and they're negotiating and they're bidding for the attention that I have on my website, which is what they want. All right. And for Rose, what's going on? You said YouTube suggested my video. It's the first time. You're still figuring out why. Farouz, what are you into? Okay. You said how to do backlinks without Ahrefs. Okay, I think you're saying, how do you find backlinks without Ahrefs? Well, unfortunately, you have to use some tool, a backlink crawler of some kind, to get that information. So if you don't use Ahrefs, you could use Majestic, but you also have to pay for that. Or you could use SEMrush as well, SEMrush, but you also have to pay for that. So really, you can't do it without paying for some tool. There are other tools out there too, but those are the ones I'm most familiar with. And Duke says if Amazon ended the program, you can go over to eBay. So tons of products available over on eBay. I've actually used eBay a few times to buy some things myself. Okay. And Nick Hare 1000 says, is it advisable to start an Amazon shop or a website? I would advise, if I understand the question exactly, Amazon, I would go for the website. I wouldn't do a shop. I would do the website. All right. Not sure if I understand your question. Oh, and Laura says, is this live? Laura Miklas, yes, it is live. Welcome. Thanks for joining up. Do you have a question? Let us know. All right. Sufyan says, should I build links to my homepage or an affiliate post? Well, it depends on what else you have going on. So if you don't have any links to your homepage, then build some links there. If you don't have any links to your affiliate post, build some links there. If you have neither, build some to both. There's at least a blog post and a video on this topic, maybe a video. So go to nichesiteproject.com/FAQ. Dana is a fine supporter. She says, I think Doug had a video on that recently, like 3 days ago. Dana, that's great. I think you're right. There is a video out there somewhere. So Lucas Communications, what's happening? Good to have you on. Let's see here. We're making it through, and I think we may wrap it up before too long. I think I may take Georgie for a jog here. All right. Hugh, I see your question. Why don't you give me a more detailed question before I start answering it? Just because I think you may be wanting to go deeper than that. And another thing that I realized is during this whole move situation. For the people that don't know, at least there's a few people who don't know me. I recently moved, like from Montana to Colorado, still sort of in the Rocky Mountain region. But my routine was greatly interrupted. So number one, I did for sale by owner, which is a whole story on itself. That was awesome, by the way. Actually, I should calculate how much we saved, but many thousands of dollars just in the commission fee. And most people probably know that when you work with a real estate agent, there's a buyer's agent, there's a seller's agent, typically, if you're working with an agent, and it's a 3% cut for each of them. So 6%. However, if you're selling it yourself, well, you don't have to pay a selling agent, right? So that's 3% right there. But then you're also in the driver's seat, assuming a seller's market. So you can negotiate how much you're going to pay the buyer's agent. In fact, when they contact you, they're like, "Do you are you offering a commission to the buyer's agent?" And you can say no if you want to. And then I don't know what they do. I guess if the buyer's really motivated, then they'll have to do it. They'll have to pay for it. So anyway, you don't have to pay them 3%. But you could rest assured that if you're working with two agents, they're going to keep the facade alive. Sorry to any real estate agents out there, by the way, but I have strong opinions. Maybe I'll do a video on that soon. So basically, we paid a less than 3% to the buyer's agent. All right. So that's great. We saved on our agent, which we didn't use. I was the agent. And then you may think, right? So again, a whole video on this probably, but you may think, hey, I don't know the process. I don't understand how this works. But it turns out you don't have to. If you can do a little bit of research, then you're okay. Further, the contracts and all that stuff, that was the part that I was confused about. I was like, I don't know what contracts to use. And then I was like, you know what? I'll figure it out, which I did. I was like, I'll figure out how to do the listing. And then I did the listing. Craigslist is how we sold it. I put it on Craigslist. Got an offer super quick. Okay. All right. Let's see if we got a deeper question here. All right. Don't see one. All right. Hugh says how to write good content, how to research for content. So I recommend you go to nichesideproject.com/FAQ. There's a lot of information about content. Also, while you're on the site, you can go to the Start Here section. I think there's about 7 parts in the Start Here section. There's one about content, and it talks about the RPM, research paper method. So that covers the research part. And then FAQ, frequently asked questions section, or frequently asked questions like method. So in those cases, that can get you pretty close to writing good content. Laura says, can I give some examples of profitable niches on Amazon that are trending right now? No. In general, I try not to give any niches out. However, what I recommend, Laura, if you just go to Amazon, go to the categories and start clicking around, and you'll see whatever is showing up. Those are probably profitable, and those are probably trending. Amazon's advertising it for you, and I think that's probably the way to go. Basically, if there's products on Amazon, people are buying them. So that's all you have to do is pick the stuff that you want to write about. All right. Sayin says, what separates sites earning hundreds compared to those earning thousands? And by the way, thanks for all the content. All right, cool. And we'll finish up here pretty quick. So if you are wanting to ask a question, go ahead and get it in now. Let me drink some water while I'm thinking. All right. Generally, there's going to be 2 main areas, and people that have watched a lot of the videos, you'll know the 2 main areas already. Actually, I'll put the number one thing is someone did more work on the site. The difference between hundreds to thousands or thousands to tens of thousands, guaranteed, is the amount of work that was put in. Work and resources, maybe capital, depending on how the person did it. But there's no secret. You're going to either see the extra work in the content quality, the amount of content, or the number of backlinks, which translates to promotion, outreach, and networking. So it's effort. If you see someone at the gym and they are, very strong, and they look like they're in shape. There's no secret. They go to the gym, they lift the fucking weights, they're watching what they eat, they're disciplined, they're getting up, they're working harder than I am because I'm not in that good a shape. And Brian is asking one of the questions here. I like to have a beer or two. In fact, that is one of the other, I was like, I got to drink more water and not have so many beers. So during this move process, I like beer. I drink a lot of beer, but I was having, I don't know, 2 to 4 beers like every single day, probably for the last 6 months or something like that. Which sounds excessive, but it like slowly grows. And half my friends work in the brewing industry, like back in Bozeman. So just having a lot of beer, going to hang out, going to, help someone move, or they came over for a few minutes and hey, let's crack open a beer. So anyway, the point is, that's the question we were answering. It always comes back around to beer, but the point is the difference between sites that are doing well and doing really well and doing fantastic is like the amount of effort. Sometimes it takes time, right? Even if I went to the gym and I worked out super hard and I was eating right, it may be 3 months before something pops. It just takes time, but the effort has to be there 100% of the time. There's no shortcut. A lot of the videos on YouTube make it sound easy. A lot of my videos make it sound simple, right? But we have to rope you in and say, do these 4 steps. And then when you get into it, it's like everything's a little harder than it seems. I try to be forthcoming, but the point is you got to put in a lot of work. Okay. PJ says you really like my content. You wonder how big your number one project is right now. How much do I earn with my biggest site per month? Okay, PJ, great question. I actually don't share my income. So that is my position. If you are interested in that sort of thing, there are some marketers who share that stuff. I think Pat Flynn started sharing his income again. So, that could be a reference point. One thing I haven't done is to ask how much money my students are making, and then cumulative. I saw a marketer do this recently. She's an Instagram person. So she was like, how much has been made from students in my course? And it was like some huge, crazy amount. But that is what I wonder. I wonder how much money cumulatively the students are making. So anyway, that's just my position, because at some point it's not very helpful for you to know what I'm doing. However, it is very interesting, PJ, I think, and I'm not sure when you joined in, but there's a few students in here who are doing really well. And I think it's more important for me to be able to teach people to do things than to show you what I could do. All right. And if you want to, you can go to Niche Site Project. There are a few of my own case studies that I have shared there, so you can get an idea of the scope of what I'm doing. And the other thing that I haven't shared in a while, but my previous job was a project manager for a software company, and I make more than that now. So if you were to Google project manager, software, like senior project manager, consulting manager, that sort of thing, you'll get an idea of how much that average salary is. And then you would get an idea of the scope of how I'm doing. All right. Oh, Mark J. Lawrenceville in the house is my hometown there. All right. So Ryan says this. It may be off topic, but what's my favorite beer to brew? But that is what I end up talking about. So it's always on topic. Okay. So I think my favorite is it's either a Belgian triple or a Belgian dark strong. Those are or a Belgian Saison. So I like the Belgians quite a bit. And if you watch the video that I published the other day, Ryan, you'll see that I bottled a bunch of beer, and I like caged and corked it and all that stuff. Bottle conditioned it, So popped one open the other day, one of the triples, just really good. Super happy with how it turned out. And the bottle conditioning in the cage and the cork, kind of a pain in the ass to do, but so worth it. So worth it. All right. Sayin says, why don't you invest in real estate to diversify? That's what I always have in mind. One thing to add, you don't know that you don't know what I am investing in. But yeah, real estate is an option. I actually don't have any of that out there. If I had great income from Amazon, I would invest in real estate and earn passively while renting it out. But Sayin, I take it you haven't done that before because it's not exactly passive. I have done real estate properties, and we looked to rent out our property in Bozeman, but there was a lot of money on the table. And I've had a foreclosure, right, with that real estate that I was mentioning. So there's a lot to real estate, and if you don't buy at the right time, like right now, the market is kind of crazy, and I don't have a huge interest in renting out property. I have a small interest, but there's a lot more to it. So even if you even if you have a property management company dealing with it, it's not as passive as you think. Now, that's not to say it's not a great business model and that you can do it in any market, up or down or whatever. It's all about the value and stuff like that, but not my thing. Okay. And we will finish up shortly here. Any last questions? You better type them in now. TBE says, hey, Doug, what's the most accurate way to get an accurate valuation of a site? It varies upon sites and like what the site is based on. But in a general sense, to get a valuation of a company, right, you would look at their average monthly profits and then multiply it by some factor, which is variable, right? So I would say somewhere between 20 and 40, right? So somewhere in that range, it's not an exact science. But you look at the profit and then you multiply that out. And Hugh says, drink more water. It's good for you. Yes. And JVlog says, try a Japanese strong zero. Okay. I'll look it up. I'll see. I don't know what that is now. Dana says, what is the ideal backlink ratio? You have 46 published posts and 160 backlinks. You suppose the backlinks have different weight depending on the source. That is correct. So there's no like ideal backlink ratio. And when you say ratio, I'm not sure what you're comparing the backlink to. Potentially posts, based on how your question was asked there. So there's no like ideal backlink ratio, but generally you want as many backlinks as you can get, assuming that they are high quality. So if you look at certain sites, you may see they don't have, actually a good example is Backlinko. So Backlinko doesn't have a lot of content, but it has a lot of backlinks because Brian Dean is a great marketer and he's a great link builder, and he went out and did a ton of work to get his name out, and now he can like send emails to people and say, hey, why don't you link to my site? And people will often do it. So the point is as many links as you can get, assuming they're high quality. And last question here, John says, can my KGR written content beat out Pinterest ranked keywords on a term? Yes, it can. Munir, nice to see you as well, or see the words that you're typing. And John, the caveat, so yes, you can beat whatever. Generally, any site can beat any other site. The missing piece in your question is
You may need to get backlinks. I'm not sure. It depends. But the key thing at the end of the day is to remember that the searcher, right? Google wants to get the searcher the exact information that they are searching for. So if you can do that better than the Pinterest page, then you can rank for it. Maybe you need backlinks to do that as well, but any site can beat out another site. All right. And Manure says, last question here, how can I improve the post mobile usability? Basically, without knowing anything about the context of your site or the theme that you're using or anything else. Because by the way, I went and I ripped out Thrive Content Builder. In fact, I deactivated it, and I disabled it, and I deleted the fucking thing off of Niche Site Project. I tried to make a simple update on my homepage, right? Like 2 characters, right? I tried to make a super simple update, and it was like, cannot update, access denied, 403 area. And I was like, enough is enough. So I deleted it, and I'm using a very lean skin for the thesis theme. Manure, the point is, if you want to improve mobile usability, is like get rid of all the garbage and just have text. That's it. You want to improve mobile usability, get rid of all the fancy formatting and all the BS. And you're just left with text. That is how you have a great mobile usable site. If you go check out Niche Site Project currently, you'll see the homepage is a little simpler. It doesn't look as fancy, but you know what? When you look on your phone, it looks good. It's fine. People are not there to see what kind of fancy formatting I could do. They want to read some information to solve their problem. They don't care about my, little feature box thing. Nobody cares about how much time you spent or anything like that. They just want to be able to read the information without waiting. So, all right, we made it through all the questions. Thanks for showing up. If you have a chance, do subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Hit the little notifications so that you are aware of these, and come to the other ones. Really appreciate it. If you do, check out the other videos on the channel in general, and then for the live streams as well. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.